Hi, it's Adele Michael, and I'm back with another Friday edition of More Abundance Live. And today I'd like to talk about being with fear. I know that I've been very encouraging about transforming fear, doubt, worry, suffering into something more positive, more energetically, more lifted. And sometimes that's just not possible. I had a friend that posted on one of my Facebook groups that I'm a member of the other day that she said, I'm just not okay. I am just not okay. And I don't know where to post this other than here. And what I heard in that was, is it okay for me not to be okay? What had happened was she had been furloughed. Her mother-in-law is showing signs of COVID-19. And her mother-in-law lives with her sister-in-law who is pregnant. So a lot going on. And she also talked about the trauma that she had experienced throughout her life. And all of us have experienced trauma, some to a more severe degree than others. And a situation like we're living through right now will bring up all of those past events, actually for healing. But in the midst of it, it just feels hard and it feels overwhelming sometimes, and it feels like I will never get through this. So what I would like to offer you today, I want to tell you my story too. On Easter, this past Sunday, of course, I was secluded at home. My mother was secluded at her assisted living, and we couldn't be together. That made me very sad because we usually spend holidays together. And I watched Andrea Bocelli's Music for Hope from Milan Duomo, and I just cried through the whole thing, just seeing those empty streets and that empty Duomo, and having heard, not observed myself, but heard what's happening in the major cities in Europe and here. So it wasn't a good day. I felt emotionally very raw, and that wasn't a day for me to do a transformation process. So if you're feeling raw today, wait, don't watch this right now. But if you're feeling like you have a little strength and that something could shift for you today, I'd like to ask us all to be with fear. So Danielle Laporte, who is a wonderful author, you may know her work, has been talking about what we are going through right now. And she says that our way of life and our way of being is dissolving, much like in a chrysalis, in a cocoon, the worm, the caterpillar, goes into the chrysalis and then dissolves. It actually becomes liquid. I can't imagine that that's a fun experience for the caterpillar, but we know what happens. If everything goes right, it becomes a butterfly. So in the midst of that, what can we do to allow ourselves to be melted, to be dissolved, to be transformed into something more beautiful? So I'd just like to ask us to be with our fears today. And just, if you can, just sit back and just relax a little bit. You don't have to close your eyes. I'm just going to ask you to walk through some fears that you may have. And I'm going to remind you that we have the pink flame of love. And if you would like to put your fears into the pink flame of love, certainly you can do that. If you just want to be with them, please just be with them. Whatever's right for you, please do that. So just be with a fear of illness. And if you want to put it in the pink flame, please do. Perhaps you're being with a fear of loss. Loss of a way of life, loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of income, whatever that fear is, or the experience of that loss, allow that to be within you, and if you would like it to transform, to allow the pink flame to transform it. If you have a fear of loneliness, maybe you've experienced loneliness these past few months. A friend of mine said, I'm surrounded by people and I feel really lonely. Maybe that's where you are. Just allowing that fear to be within you, and if you would like it to transform into something lighter. Maybe you're sitting with grief. Maybe you're very sensitive to the suffering of others. Maybe you're suffering yourself, and there's grief. And we know from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross that there are 5 stages of grief, and you could be in one or many of those stages right now. Of course, the final stage is acceptance, and you may not be there yet. So just wherever you are, just being with that. And again, if you'd like it to transform, allow it to do that. And there's no hurry. If now is not the time for this to transform, it can at a later date, should you desire it to. Are you sitting with worry? Are you casting your thoughts into the future? This is one of my favorite habits. I've had to train myself to come back to the present as much as I can, and that means being grounded and in your body. So if you can make your body feel just a little bit heavier, and allow your awareness to sink down into the lower part of your abdomen and of your torso, down into your root and pelvic and solar plexus energy centers. And what I find is when I'm in my body, the fear and the worry is not as intense, because I am right this red hot minute. And allow worry to transform if you would like it to. Maybe you have a fear of change. I've said before, I think human beings love novelty, and we resist change, especially if it's foisted upon us, if we did not choose it. But in that regard, maybe we did choose this. On some level, maybe we chose this. I have a friend who is a great reframer of what is, and when something happens that's overwhelming or she didn't expect, she says, "Is this the change I've been asking for?" And often it is. So any fear of change, you can just allow the pink flame of love to transform when you are ready. Okay, this is a big one, the fear of death. I think in the United States, we don't really have, of course, each one of us has an experience with death, but we may deny that we will die. I know that baby boomers are really good at this. We will never die. Actually, we will. And so if you have fear of death, it's okay to feel that. It's not going to consume you. It's not going to kill you right now. And in fact, death being a part of life is something that we can come into relationship with, especially as we grow older and more mature. So being with the fear of death and allowing it to transform if you would like. What about the fear of suffering? Personal suffering. I, like many people, have had my own bouts with suffering in this life, and I have to say I think I fear that more than death. It's hard. Suffering is hard, and many people are suffering now. So as I say, if you're sensitive, you know that other people are suffering. You can feel it, and the energy of suffering and death is heavy upon us right now. So if you would like that to transform, just put it in the pink flame of love. And I see that pink flame in the core of you. It could be outside of you, but it could also be inside of you, transforming these fears without your even having to think about them. And the last one I'm going to mention, which I think is really difficult for many of us, is the fear of not knowing. So many things are flexible and changing and in flux right now, and there's news that is generating fear, and you can choose to listen to that or not. But the fear of not knowing, not having certainty, not having security, there is a deeper sense of security and certainty available, but it may not be in our mental knowing. So if you would like your not knowing fear to transform into something deeper, something richer, something more secure, just allow the pink flame to do that for you. Okay, so that's my list of fears to be with today. If you have made it this far and you've felt some shifts, please let me know about that. I want to give you a tool that I use because I am a worry wart. And as I say, I come by it very naturally. My mother is one, and just have that kind of brain. And what I use is what I call the goddess box. So the goddess box. So this is like a florist cube, and I put a paper box around it that my friend Karen gave me from her sister. And what you do is you write down your fears, your concerns, your worries. You put them in the goddess box. And what that does is you're saying, I don't have any control over this. I need some help. Please help me. And one thing I want to say about that is I've been doing this for a while, and it works. I can't tell you how it works or that it works in the way that I think it's going to work, but it works because you are giving up your human concerns and going beyond your ego into the realm of the divine, and the divine has us all. It has us all. It is holding us. So make yourself a goddess box. You may call yours a God box or a universe box, whatever that word is that you think of as the force that's greater than you. It could be the field of all being if you're a quantum physics fan. Make a box. Put your concerns in the box. And then if you find yourself revisiting them in your mind, worrying about them or fearing them, put them back in the box. And one last thing, if you are a woman business owner and you would like to gather with other like-minded women next Wednesday, April 22nd at noon Eastern Daylight Time, please join us at abundancewithadele.com. That's where you go to register. It's a free hour workshop, and we will do some, I'll do some teaching about the subject is flow versus force. And I think we're seeing that we can't force very much right now, so how do we get more into the flow? Come and join us. I'll do some teaching, we'll do some networking, we'll do a guided imagery, which people tell me they really enjoy, and it gives them a boost. And we'll do that on Wednesday, April 22nd. So I hope you'll join us. The registration is right there, right there. And it's free. So remember that you are enough. You have what it takes to live through this. There is suffering, there is fear, and it doesn't have to stay that way. And as Saint Teresa of Avila was known to say, all is well, and all is very well. Until next time, I send you my best.